Yo, it's Tiffany Gaines, host of the Secrets Podcast. Before I go on my monologue, please be sure to like and subscribe to this video. I'm sure you find the content interesting. You want to be notified for any new videos that I put out. So I appreciate the listen in advance. Now, one of my semi favorite artists is Lettucey. She has a song on one of her previous albums called Bravo. And it's kind of a champion song, to pat yourself on the back song. She says, Bravo, come on, clap for yourself now. Steve Kerr, bravo, clap for yourself, sir. Now, you didn't look all that comfortable at the press table talking about Draymond's 5-game suspension. He had to acknowledge some obvious things: crossing the line, physical violence. His arms, I think his arms were folded. He did not look comfortable. Do we think Adam Silver got on the phone with the Golden State Warriors? Did they have a conference call? You know, it's like I said yesterday, it's not like Steve Kerr is not annoyed by Draymond's antics, but listen, they could have suspended Draymond themselves for some of the things that he's done, a harder stance, figure out something else to detour the actions of Draymond. But when you let a kid get away with murder for so long, it is hard after some years. You let your 2-year-old do some things for 5 years, and then all of a sudden you want them to pull it back when they're 7 or 8. You're going to have a hard time. You got to start snatching that kid up at 2. Time out. No, sir. No, ma'am. We're not doing that. You got to find a different way to channel your energy. We're not allowing temper tantrums at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then 8. We're going to say, simmer down, find a different way. We need to get you some help. Well, no. This has been who this man has been since he has been in the league. And I believe Draymond knows that he has to find a different way to deal with things. But I don't know how pressed or obligated he's been to do something different. For him, it's about realizing that who and what has made him a successful basketball star may have to change. And I don't know, that's sort of erasing a man that's been something for so long. I don't know how he does that at this stage of his career. I don't know how he handles that at this stage of his career. Putting when he stepped on Sabonis last year, I was like, I that was a line. When he punched Jordan Poole, I was like, whoa. When he stepped on Sabonis, I was like, what are we doing here? Rudy Gobert is a target. And I'm not saying that I don't understand or see getting your licks or your jabs or your shoves in at him, but dragging the man off the court is a look. It's a look that the NBA does not want to deal with. And somebody realized that. I don't know if it was that organization. Steve Kerr tries his best to stay in the middle. He does not come out harshly speaking about Draymond, and he kind of knows why. But I think the time has just kind of come for them to understand that they're fighting against the narrative, the perception, the narrative that the NBA is trying to stay away from. They just threw Ja down for 25 games for conduct detrimental to the league. Draymond dragging Rudy Gobert off the court, in my opinion, is conduct detrimental to the league. And they say, and Steve Kerr said the 5 games were deserved. As much as I respect Draymond and his accountability, he always takes verbal accountability. He does not take behavioral accountability, meaning do something different. But he always knows and verbalizes that he needs to be better. But he doesn't take enough corrective action for me to believe that he understands the severity of it. The severity of it. You're a father, you're a husband, and you have school age children. You got to do better. If for nobody else, for your babies, who I've seen you with, at least on television. You've not invited me over for any dinners, but I just get the perception that Draymond is just a different person off the court. Too many people ride for him personally, and he just is an animal on. And it's what's made him the man he is, it's what's afforded his success. And there are some people who have two lives, two spirits, you know, two animal instincts. But he's got to find a way to navigate a new road. And Warriors, they have been put on notice. I don't know if they just kind of came to that conscious realization themselves, or if Adam Silver has the Warriors on speed dial. He should, Lord. I mean, he probably talks to them several times um, a season over Draymond Green antics. But kudos, Steve Kerr, bravo. You powdered through that thing, and I believe you believe that. As conscientious as Steve Kerr has been with regard to gun violence, social justice issues, I 100% believe that he knows Draymond's got to be a different man. But he has just been a prisoner to this championship run pedigree dynasty of this basketball team. Draymond is just as important of a piece as Steph Curry. And trying to figure out how to keep that thing together without pulling out the main, I Steph Curry is the offensive glue, but Draymond is the foundation for that team. And you can't break the foundation of that team. And so there's some tiptoeing. But kudos, bravo. Lettucey says, bravo to you, Steve Kerr. Now, what are we going to do going forward? What are we going to do with the 5-game suspension? Even Ja Morant pretended he went to counseling, Lord. He went to counseling for 48 hours and came out and pretended he was a new man. Draymond, are you going to do that? What sort of efforts are you going to take to show people you are efforting reform? Are you going to do that? I don't know. Draymond's a really authentic guy, and he doesn't say things that he doesn't mean, though I don't think he takes enough behavioral correction. But he's not said that he is either. He's not said in the past, hey, I'm going to go get some help. So is he at that point? Does he feel like he needs to be at that point? And if he's not at that point, then what do we do? Because I don't believe he's going to say it if he doesn't mean it. I do believe he will take some onus and acknowledgement. And but I will be interested to see what sort of steps and actions he's going to take. Is the league in position to force him to do something? No, the Warriors in position. The Warriors are in position. But as I said yesterday, that winning, that money, Steph Curry, it matters to them. It matters to that city. And so they're sort of in prison. They just kind of like, damn, what do we do? I would love to be behind some of the closed door meetings that they have had with Draymond. And what Steph Curry? Steph Curry's not this guy. Steph Curry's not a guy who condones this behavior. What does Steph Curry say to Draymond away from the court? Is he saying, dog, come on? I'm sure that he's had these conversations with Draymond. They are too tight to be fake. They are too close not to be transparent. And I believe they have had these conversations with Draymond, but I don't know what sort of, it's not worked. It's just not worked yet. Right? Or do they co-sign it too much? I'm not saying that these guys are in there saying rah rah dog. I understand. I don't think they do that. I think these guys are character guys. I mean, when I say these guys, I think Steph Curry is a character guy. I'm not a big Klay Thompson fan, but I think he's a character guy. I think Steve Kerr is a character guy. And I believe behind the scenes, they probably tell Draymond the truth. But Is this enough of a transparency? Is this enough of a picture for Draymond to say this is ugly for the league? Dude, you drug a man off the court. Now, do I believe Rudy Gobert holding his hands up? I mean, I'm not discounting the man had his hands around your neck, but when you threw your hands up, you big enough to bite Draymond something. If you were just being choked out, but he was actually calling attention to the fact, do y'all see what he's doing? I mean, true. You being drugged. But wow, what a look, what a situation, what a revelation. And I'll be interested to see what the other Draymond Green fans, Colin Cowherd, have to say about this. Colin Cowherd has done a terrible job of sweeping Draymond Green's antics under the rug. It's one of the things that I've just I had to knock a point off, because this is not something Colin Cowherd would have condoned in the past. Colin Cowherd would have absolutely called this organization on the carpet if it was an organization that he had no respect for. But the problem is Colin has the utmost respect for that organization and the people inside of that organization. And Draymond is on his podcast platform. So, he kind of has to fold his arms and just give minimal commentary. I'm going to watch the show today to see what he says about that. But Steve Kerr had to come out and tell the truth. He had to come out and be a dad. He had to say, hey, my kid's got a problem and we got to figure out how to help him. So, yeah, what do we think about Steve Kerr's comments, the 5-game suspension on Draymond Green? What's going to be different? I'm not sure if anything will be different, but I believe the league, you're not going to be able to have a black man dragging anybody off of my NBA court, said Adam Silver. Said Joe Dumars. Y'all got to be and do something different. This shit is getting old. So, yeah, what do we think about Draymond Green and his 5-game suspension? What do we think about Steve Kerr, the dad? And how much responsibility are we going to really put on Draymond to do something different? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments. I appreciate the listen. Please like, please subscribe. Tiffany Gaines, host of the Secrets Podcast. Appreciate it.